It's August 8th. Y'all ready for this eclipse? Oh, motherfucker. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Lightning strikes the torch. April 3rd. Dang, did anybody catch that?
NASA clearly said there were going to be an ellipse during the eclipse. Do you know what an ellipse is? If you don't, listen. This should be the most shared video I ever put out. I am going to show you why you do not want to be in the path of totality during this eclipse. And it is because of an ellipse. I can't believe they're getting ready to do this to us. If you ever had a kidney stone too large to be passed, they use a lithotripter, which is focused energy of an ellipse. Same concept. And this breaks down stones. So what do you think is going to happen when they fire up something as powerful as CERN from one side of the world to the other, focusing on the path of totality? This next video should give you a clue of what's going on.
Isn't this shape interesting? Each of these two special points of the ellipse is referred to as focus. And together they're called the foci of the ellipse. Wait, there's more. Elliptical shapes even play a role in a medical device called the lithotripter.
Pay attention to the lithotripter.
Due to its reflective property, it's used to break the kidney stones. High-frequency shock waves are generated at one focus of the elliptical-shaped reflector, which gets concentrated at another focus point where the kidney stones are positioned. And this helps in breaking the kidney stones.
Yo, is it kind of making sense? So they're going to fire up CERN, basically, and it's going to shoot signals off of the eclipse, which is going to break down the stone here in the Americas and carve or activate the new Madrid fault line. Yo, that would be, man, all the people that are traveling to come see this eclipse, imagine something happening like that.
Come back and please check this video out. I just shortened it for sakes of my video. NASA did a press conference. There will be an ellipse with the eclipse, and they are firing up CERN. And we also know that this goes hand in hand with HAARP. So you have a focal point here, a focal point there, and this only works if there is a domed roof. Let that sink in, people. Now, back to business. Now, I've had kidney stones, and I've also had one of my kidney stones broken down with lithotripsy, which means that they can focus frequency to a specific spot to break things up. I showed you all the path of totality, and I showed you that there would be a new river carved from Louisiana all the way up through New York along the path of totality. And they are going to use an ellipse to accomplish this. Please do not, I repeat, do not be in the total path of totality. Do not. I don't care. Call it fear-mongering. Get the fuck away. You are about to die.
Yo, he was as blunt as could be at the end of that, yo. I really hope what he's saying does not come true, because I got family members on that total path of totality, you know? And if that's the case, I need to call them and tell them to get up out of there on some 2012 stuff, man. Y'all got to get up out of there.
Why is the Army deployed for the solar eclipse?
This is getting wild. The National Guard is going to be here now for the solar eclipse. This article today was released in an Oklahoma newspaper saying that they will have guardsmen present in McCurtain County for the solar eclipse. But things get much weirder. The 22 members of an elite chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear unit will be housed in Broken Bow, in addition to 110 to 150 Oklahoma Highway Patrol troopers. They're also urging residents to stock up with 1 to 2 weeks of food in advance of the event and to have full fuel tanks. They're also saying that it's likely that communication facilities could be overloaded, possibly making it difficult to make cell phone calls.
All of this because of an eclipse that's supposed to be natural. You know what I'm saying? Yo, something's fishy about this. Something's up with this.
Similar warnings are going out in different states, including Noblesville Fire Department in Texas. And apparently schools are canceled this day, and people are going on Twitter writing statements like this. Something strange is definitely happening. My kids in 3 different schools all got notices that school will be closed that day. What do you know about this solar eclipse? As always, let me know what you think about all of this down below.
Like, I feel like they already know something's about to happen, some chaotic stuff, and they're trying to prevent as much chaos as possible. You know, just don't even send the kids to school. We don't even want to have to deal with evacuations and sending them home and calling the parents and everybody freaking them out. Just let them already be at home when this stuff happens and they can figure it out on themselves.
We are trying to wake you up. Thanks to fact checkers on USA Today, we have completely debunked the misinformation sparked by the conspiracies of this solar eclipse. Watch this video till the end, perform your duty as a human being, and share this video and watch it till the end before you denounce anything.
Welcome to a day.
Hey, so first, I want to ask you guys this. What y'all thoughts on fact checkers? They got fact checkers on all the social media platforms except TikTok. I don't think TikTok has fact checker. I can't even say the word fact checkers on TikTok. I'm not sure. But yeah, let me know your comments down below. Do you guys agree with fact checkers? Do you think they're right? Or do you think they're just there to cover up the truth, you know, and try to put some little cover story
In the
over
life
things?
on Earth in 2024. So early next week, the sun, which is 400 times larger than the moon, and coincidentally exactly 400 times farther away than the moon, will be 100% perfectly covered up by the moon during a total solar eclipse, because they appear exactly the same size in the sky, which is quite the coincidence, considering we are moving around the sun at 66,672 miles an hour, while the sun is hurling through a forever exponentially expanding space at 448,000 miles an hour, and the moon is just able to cover up the sun 100% perfectly, no more, no less. That is a bit of a coincidence, if you ask me. Meanwhile, NASA will be firing 3 rockets into the total solar eclipse to study the air. And those rockets are named Apep, after the Egyptian serpent demon god of destruction and chaos. Don't believe me? Ask NASA for yourself. The mission is called Apep. The acronym was chosen because Apep is also the name of the serpent god from ancient Egyptian cosmology, who pursued the sun god Ra and every so often nearly consumed him, resulting in an eclipse. So they gave a very innocent and understandable reasoning for naming it Apep, but they forgot to mention that Apep represents the forces of chaos, death, and disorder. It's literally the opposite of light and good. It's pure evil. The serpent demon god of destruction is what they're naming the rockets that they're shooting into the sun after. But that's not all. Meanwhile, all of this is going on while NASA is shooting rockets into the total solar eclipse, and while the moon is perfectly covering the sun, CERN, who has a statue of the Hindu god of destruction right outside their door, will be firing up the largest machine in the entire world, the Large Hadron Collider. That's right. They are going to be firing billions of protons at each other at the speed of light in a 17-mile-long tunnel, trying to recreate the conditions 1 second after the Big Bang. And they are firing it up during the total solar eclipse. Besides the fact that they have the statue of the Hindu god of destruction right outside their door, I guess it's also just a coincidence that their logo is literally 3 6s. And I guess it's also a coincidence that CERN is located in Geneva, Switzerland. And the Bible says that Satan lives where Antipas was put to death. And Antipas was put to death at the Apollyon Temple in Geneva, Switzerland. But it goes even deeper than that. CERN and the Large Hadron Collider are specifically located in a city called Saint Genus Apolli. I know I'm probably butchering that. But that city translates to Apolliacum, which was a village temple dedicated to Apollo. And Apollo is very closely compared and related to Shiva, which is the statue that they have right outside. And Apollo is very closely associated with destruction, means to destroy. And they have a statue of the god of destruction right outside. While NASA is shooting 3 rockets into the solar eclipse named after the serpent demon god of destruction. So CERN, whose logo is 666, who has a statue of the Hindu god of destruction right outside, is located at an ancient temple of Apollo. And the ancient temple of Apollo was believed to have a portal to the underworld right underneath it. And the Large Hadron Collider is located right on top of it, where they're trying to smash particles together to create what created the universe. The Bible says they had as king over them the angel of the abyss, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon and in Greek is Apollyon, that is, destroyer. I guess it's also a coincidence that the World Wide Web was created at CERN, and www translates into Hebrew as 666. So, not only will NASA, whose name means to deceive in Hebrew, be shooting 3 rockets into the total solar eclipse named after the serpent demon god of destruction, but at the same exact time, CERN, whose logo is 666, who created the World Wide Web that translates into 666, who has a statue of the Hindu god of destruction right outside their door that is built on top of a temple dedicated to Apollo, the god of chaos and destruction and the ruler of the underworld, they will be firing up the Large Hadron Collider and shooting particles at each other at the speed of light to create dark matter during the total solar eclipse. Does this not sound like they're trying to open a portal or send us into the upside down or something? Because honestly, the Large Hadron Collider looks a lot like that portal opener that they had in Stranger Things. And even one of the top scientists working on the Large Hadron Collider said, out of this door might come something, or we might send something to it. Does that not sound like a portal is opening up? Sergio Bertolucci said that. He is an Italian particle physicist and the former director of research and scientific computing at CERN. So I think he knows what he's talking about. So considering all of the satanic references associated with CERN that I just mentioned, including the human sacrifice ritual that happened right outside of CERN, right in front of the Hindu statue of destruction, I don't think that they're opening this portal for anything good. I'm going to be honest. If you don't remember that CERN ritual happening, here's a video of it. I'm about to play it.
They try to label it as fake, too. Fact checkers.
And then the fact checkers came out and said that it was just a bunch of scientists playing a prank on us and performing a fake human sacrifice ritual in front of the god of destruction, because scientists are just known for their pranks and human sacrifice is so funny. And on another note, the moon is also turning red. It's rusting because hematite is being found on it. And hematite is derived from the Greek word for blood. And I guess it's just a coincidence that the Bible says the sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And that's exactly what's happening. I'm not going to say it's the end of the world, but I'm not going to say it's not.
Yo.
What's up, TikTok? As you can see, my video about the solar eclipse was deleted. I wonder why. Now, if you didn't see my video, a total solar eclipse is basically when the moon completely covers up the sun. The last total eclipse was in 2017, and the next one won't be until 2045. Mind you, I said total solar eclipse, not just a regular solar eclipse. Now, like I stated in my last video, why are flights starting at $49 on the day of the eclipse? Why are schools shutting down? Why did the news give us tips which read, schedule errands and appointments early, have a communication plan with family and friends, have cash on hand in case of limited internet access, buy necessary groceries and gas ahead of time, and expect heavy traffic and long lines at local services? These solar eclipses have been happening since the Roman Empire days. Now, I'm not saying that this has anything to do with the Bohemian Grove. I'm not saying that a certain group of people worship this owl god called Moloch, and I'm not saying that they believe they have to sacrifice the most purest, innocent human beings to this god to repay their karma. I'm not saying that a bunch of kids went missing in Hawaii on this island called Maui, the same island that just burnt down. I'm not saying everything was burnt down except these particular group of people, lands, and properties. I'm not saying that Oprah, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and other celebrities all own land on this particular island. I'm also not saying that residents of Hawaii seen a laser in the sky right before the fire started. And I'm not saying that Drake's OVO symbol resembles the owl statue of the Moloch. Now, if you do your own research, every time a full solar eclipse has happened, a war was going on, except in 2017. And like I stated in my last video, there has been a measles outbreak in Chicago, and it's an airborne disease, and it's highly contagious. Now, I'm not saying that 98 people are already in quarantine due to this disease already. I'm not saying that something big is going down before this year's election. And I'm definitely not saying that the news stated that we could be headed towards another shutdown. Also, my donations are up to $2,000, and I appreciate all of you. And remember that anything helps, whether it's just a share or a dollar. I'm currently trying to find an out-of-town lawyer because clearly these people are working together. The Cash App is still in my bio, as well as the link to my website and brand, Conspiracy Minds. I love y'all, and I appreciate every share, every prayer, and every dollar.
Yo, first off, free Colin Bellamy. But yo, there's a measles outbreak in Chicago. Yo, that's too close to home. I didn't even know about that. Bro locked down. He still got valid research, man. Y'all ain't got no excuses, man. We got to get out here and do better.
So I was doing more research on the solar eclipse, and the difference between the ones we see on the regular and this one is the ones we see on the regular you can't see all over the United States. You only see it in certain areas. Now, what makes these total solar eclipses so rare is you can see these in Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. The moon will completely cover the sun, supposedly for 4 minutes. Another difference is they don't bring out the National Guard and military for regular eclipse. So that's how you know this is different. Now, I'm not saying they brought the military and National Guard in Oklahoma and Texas for this year's eclipse. This eclipse will be seen in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Kentucky, Michigan, and Tennessee. It's supposed to go dark for 4 minutes. Now, the last eclipse like this one was in 2017, the year Trump was elected. Sound a little crazy, huh? 2017 don't even feel like it's been that long, right? Now, I'm not saying time was sped up, but the mass shooting in Vegas that left 58 dead and nearly 500 wounded, that was also in 2017. But this is what got me. The police captain that was in charge of handling the Vegas Strip during the shooting, whose name is John Pelletier, was also the police chief of Maui in Hawaii when the fire started and killed all those people. Coincidence? I don't know. Now, back to the eclipse. I'm not saying I remember the U.S. basically talking about trying to cover up the sun, and I'm not saying they have this project called Solar Geoengineering where they're spraying aerosol into the stratosphere to create a global cooling effect on the sun to prevent global warming, basically damming the sun to cool the planet. I'm not saying that I remember China saying they were building their own sun. So are these eclipses natural, or is it something else going on? I'm definitely not saying I seen the video with what seemed to be two moons in the sky at one time. Kind of makes you think, huh?
Definitely makes you think, yo. China already built their own artificial sun. They put it in the sky years ago. I don't know if it's still up there. I mean, I ain't never been to China to see it. So there's artificial things in the sky. Everything that we see is not real. Like I said before, I think that the James Webb Telescope is an artificial sun. How would you know? You can't even look at the sun, really. You know, you just see a ball of light going through the sky. That could be something reflecting light. You don't know.
Yes, we're planning for a mass casualty event that day, but that's not really our worry. Our worry is, how do we get our heart attacks and our stroke patients to the emergency department if the roads are completely at a gridlock and we can't get... Yes, we're planning for a mass casualty event.
Mass casualty. What?
Now I understand. I get it. They are preparing for all the traffic in that area. That makes total sense. And I get why states issued a state of emergency, because they get funding. So I understand.
You know, when it's a lot of traffic in an area, they might send out some old police officer to the little traffic light box so he can change the lights. You know what I'm saying? Let the traffic go. stop it. You might have somebody out there with a whistle directing traffic, but they never send the National Guard for no dang traffic.
And that as well, but these little slips from the news, like the other one yesterday about the Eclipse earthquake, how we just had a 4.8 magnitude earthquake in New Jersey, and then we had a 4.8 earthquake in Brazil, and then we had a
both 4.8. Let that resonate.
6.0, 6.5 in Japan, and then 7.4 in Taiwan, and then we just had a 5.0 or 4.4 in California. I mean, California has them all the time, so I get it. We can kind of blow that out of proportion when earthquakes happen every single day, but there's so many things happening. It's hard to even comprehend what's going to happen, you know? The biggest thing on my mind is an earthquake. I think that's a safe projection of what's going to happen, because the 1811 1812 earthquake of the New Madrid fault line had a eclipse, you know, in that same era or same time span, and then they had the earthquake, right? I mean, it's kind of been proven how eclipses do have a part to play, or they could possibly, speculation, personal opinion. You know, there's a lot of debating back and forth if an eclipse affects earthquakes, but that's where I'm kind of thinking, you know, whether they happen or not, we'll find out. But the news is just too much. It's too much, guys. And that is why we really got to focus on the Lord. We got to just keep our eyes on him no matter what. I mean, an earthquake, how do you prepare for that besides gluing your stuff to the wall and to your mantle and not having things to fall on you, and then having a game plan to act when it does happen, right? That's all you can do. But do not stress over things you can't control. We focus on the Lord, and wherever we are at, whatever happens, we go to him. I mean, there's so much fear mongering, and I get it, because we're in this state of, well, is something going to happen? So then it stops you from living right now. Like, enjoy your day, enjoy the life the Lord has given you. Every moment is precious. We are so blessed to be able to have air in our lungs and blood in our veins, and he has given you life down here for a purpose, and it is to know him, to be intimate with him, and to go forth. So allow that joy and that peace that surpasses all understanding to guard your heart and your mind, and just go love on some people. Allow the Lord to guide you. Focus upon him during this time, because it's a storm right now. We feel like we're going through a storm.
People are talking about the eclipse, but they're not talking about this. The sun and the moon are not aligned on April 8th. They are in Pisces. Right now, if you go to your Skyview app and you push forward to April 8th, plug it in, it will show you that the sun and the moon are in Pisces. They are not aligned. They are sitting beside.
I'm about to get the Skyview app, y'all. Hold on. Do I got that? They probably done already like patched this though. If this is a real thing, we about to find out. So I gotta calibrate it, huh? How do I do this? All right, so right now, facing south. That's very true. Where is it's west? Sun should be over here. It is right here. You got Mercury. Where's the moon? The moon should be over here somewhere. Yo. Oh, they're trying to say the moon is... yeah, over there by the sun or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that well at using this app or that good, so... She said they're in Pisces, though. Y'all let me know in the comments, man, if y'all have better results than me. It looked like in the app, like I said, they probably patched it or whatever. It shows like the moon is kind of like by the sun right now. So, we'll see.
Beside each other, but they are not aligned. How is that possible? Because the sun and the moon have been out of place.
Okay, I was right then. Yeah, they are sitting right by each other right now. They're not aligned, like she says, but they are kind of close. And so even the path of the eclipse, right? Sorry, guys, I'm kind of ranting a little bit, but it's going from west to east, right? Doesn't the sun rise from east to west, you know? So the sun's rising this way, but the eclipse is going this way. So that means what is the moon traveling this way? You know what I'm saying? But if the moon is over here lined up with the sun, y'all let me know, man.
Back in in September 2023, I've been doing these videos telling you that the sun is not where it should be. People are telling me it's the calendar. The calendar's off. Don't worry about it. It's where the sun is in the sky that's different. It's not where it should be. This eclipse is showing you that I am telling you the truth. Because if we see an eclipse on April 8th, how is that possible? If the sun and the moon are in Pisces, it can't be an Aries eclipse, right? If the sun is in Pisces, and if the sun and the moon are not aligned, they have to be aligned in order for you to see an eclipse, correct? So I don't have to be a fucking astrophysicist to understand this, and neither do you. I'm trying to get this out to as many people as I can. Please share this, because, I mean, this is just a no-brainer. These heavenly bodies are changing. They are not where they should be. And they damn sure will not show you an eclipse in the sky if they are not aligned.
I mean, she put it plain and simple. They're not aligned. There should be no eclipse. Is this a man-made eclipse?
Do you still think these giant craters are caused by asteroids? Aw, that's sweet. Well, if you don't want that fantasy ruined for you, I wouldn't keep watching. Let's start by looking at how many of these craters have been found. And the Google machine says 190, but I've seen up to 195, which is awfully close to the number 200. 200 that just happens to be the exact same number of the fallen angels or watchers that were banished down to Earth for committing sins with human women. And then what if I also told you there's a pyramid in the middle of a crazy city where at the very top of it was a chamber where they had 200 perfectly aligned, beautiful seats. 200 exactly. And then I told you that the town name that pyramid's in just happens to be an anagram of the word Satan. Also has a light in it that looks very, very familiar. So familiar that I knew I had seen it somewhere before. We know what that is. That's the Olympic torch. And if you've seen my Chicago or New York videos, you know who that really is, holding that torch. The head of the fallen angels, Lucifer, the light bearer. The light bearer who not only puts his light in plain sight, but puts his home at the head of a phoenix. And we just know how Hollywood loves to tell us the truth right in their movies.
We were not stone then, but light. It was not our place to interfere. Yet we chose to try and help mankind. And when we disobeyed the Creator, He punished us. We were encrusted by your will. Rock and mud shackled our fiery glow.
Maybe, just maybe, there are some fallen angels here, and they're trying to deceive us to get revenge on God, trying to make us think there is no God, and that we just came on an accident, random Big Bang, and then we evolved from monkeys, and that we live on just one of infinite spinning balls. But I know the truth. I know they're not even possible the way they tell us, because I've researched. And if you still think these are caused from asteroids from outer space, then my friend, you have a lot of research to do. My hope for you is that one day you get to fire up your butt so bad that you will stop at nothing, and I mean nothing, until you find the truth about this place you live. Because it's there, and this sure as hell isn't it. But as always, I was just here for your entertainment purposes. I don't believe any of this I said. All this was just joking opinion. Yeah, of course space rocks hit this.
Yo, if what he's saying is true, just imagine that, right? Where these angels fell to earth, these giants, right? Fall to earth, then they get up, they walk around, they're here for a little bit. Then the Creator punishes them, right? As he said in the movie, we weren't stone at first. Then I want you to go ahead and look up giants are mountains, or mountains are giants, right? There's a whole YouTube channel dedicated to that, and you'll see that these mountains look like old giants or petrified giants. Therefore, these fallen angels have been turned into stone, punished by the Creator through the flood. So, it kind of makes sense.
My last video got removed, so they obviously don't want me speaking on this, so I'm gonna attempt one more time, but this time I'm gonna be very vague. I'm gonna speak in code, okay? So I need y'all to put your thinking caps on, try to decipher what it is that I am saying. If at any point you're confused, help each other in the comments. So yes, if you look at the previous video last year, I said that 2024 was going to be the death of celebrity worship. And since then, there have been a lot of things that have been coming out, a lot of truths getting exposed, just like I said, to expect. But a lot of people want to know what's next. I'm going to try to break this down in the safest way possible. There are dark entities that control this planet. I mean, that's why Earth sucks. That's why everything sucks, because it's controlled. Now, in order for people to maintain their status and their power, these dark entities need to be served. Just like you would offer offerings to any other deity that you worship. So, these dark entities need light. They feed off of light. The purer the light, the better. I just need y'all to stop and just think for a second. What is the purest form of light on this planet? So these beings of light are oftentimes sacrificed because that is how they serve these dark entities. And this is how power and status is maintained. So there will be a lot of exposure around the things that are done to these beings of light. It is not surprising at all that you're starting to see all these stocks being sold, all these companies being sold. It's because they know their time is coming. I've told y'all many times before, 2024 is the year of karma. Karma's coming for everyone. You know, and they think that they could just go off and hide in a bunker while the whole world goes to shit. But that's not how judgment works. You can't escape it. Jumping back into astrology, we also have the eclipse coming up April 8th. So I wouldn't be surprised if some stuff goes down that week because the energy is going to be very intense. Also, just use your discernment as more things start to be revealed, because a lot of these people have been involved. And you have to ask yourself, was this person a victim or just an insider? You know, based on universal law, they have to tell us what it is that they're doing. This is why you'll see a lot of things being put in Hollywood movies and in TV shows, because they have to tell us the truth. So just be mindful of who's doing the exposing, because they can also very much be a part of the script. Also, don't be surprised if there are distractions that start happening once these things come out. Okay, natural disasters, all sorts of random things, outages, power outages, internet outages. Don't be surprised when things just randomly start happening once information is on the verge of coming out. My advice to everyone is to just use your discernment. Stay grounded, okay? Stay protected, stay prayed up, because things gotta get really bad before they get really good. And we are witnessing a shift in our lifetime that many people before us have never seen. This has never happened astrologically. So it's gonna feel, the energy is gonna feel a little heavy, but the other side of this is gonna be something very beautiful. Just let it all fall and crumble.
Well, hey, Diddy did that, man. Diddy is the one that called in this eclipse, right? He got all this attention on him, right? He said, yo, I need to get some attention off of me. It's too much coming out. The eclipse is happening now. Now everybody gonna be focused on the eclipse, man. Ain't nobody gonna think about Diddy no more. I'm just kidding.
Well. Get that ass in here. You can stand up or you can sit down for this one. So, we got a guy that just posted a video here on Auntie's Got Coffee, Tea, and Danish News. And he said the birds are acting strange. Now, in this video, he was walking down the sidewalk. He noticed a bunch of birds laying on goddamn ground. But he noticed a few that was standing up. Well, not standing up, but yes, they look like they're sitting down, but they're standing up. So he kicked his foot at it. That motherfucker did not move. He looked at him like, you there? You can walk around. He proceeds to keep walking. There's one on the ledge. He pointing at him. He looked back like, what the fuck? I'm trying to see my old lady in here. But here's where things get dramatic. Because we know about drones. We know about bird drones. Hell, they fly around us every day. But this is where things get dramatic. He starts walking further. Not only are there a lot of birds out, but they are laying on the sidewalk. Passed out. Passed out or dead. We don't know. We weren't there, were we? Yep, they look dead to me. They on their back, they on their side, they chilling. Them other two that was woke, probably there for the funeral. We don't know. But what we do know is that this man kicked his foot at this bird. Not kicked, but tried to nudge him. And the bird looked at his ass like he was stupid. He was alive. They all wasn't dead. But guess what? They not acting right either. He talking about the birds acting strange. Hell, the birds ain't even acting. They not doing nothing. They just standing and laying there. What the hell is going on? My first initial thought was, well, damn, they must be shooting frequencies through the sky trying to fuck with this eclipse. Then I was like, well, damn, I wonder if they really is cleaning up the damn skies like we thought, because why else would they fall dead like that? Number one reason, pollution. Being damn poison. Like us. Come on, y'all. It's time to mass meditate. Now, we gotta quit talking about this shit and do it. I'm sick of talking. I'm ready to do some shit.
Hi, my name's Peter Kane. I'm president of the Mermaid Society and Mermaid Foundation. Now, I have looked at this footage, and so have some colleagues of mine from some major universities. Major. And there's a lot of stuff out here with mermaids that isn't real. And this footage here, right here, you're actually going to see a real mermaid in the wild. It's so clear that this is real. Now, Cornell has looked at this, major universities, major. Here we go.
Oh, there you go.
That is a real mermaid. You can tell by the shape of the tail.
We just seen a real mermaid. What?
So I'm sure y'all remember the movie Leave the World Behind on Netflix, right? Y'all remember the cargo ship with the shipping containers on it that was headed towards shore and everybody started running? Well, I'm sure by now y'all heard about the Baltimore Bridge incident. So a couple days ago, a cargo ship carrying a bunch of shipping containers hit the Baltimore Bridge, causing the bridge to collapse. Just like in the movie, both of these boats lost power. Now, they claim that there were 8 workers working on this bridge at the same time this bridge fell. They claim they found 2 of those workers and suspended the search on the other 6 due to the amount of time they have been missing. So they're basically saying they're pretty much certain those 6 workers didn't survive. Now, my next question is, what was in those shipping containers? They're saying that 13 of those shipping containers were damaged, and some of those containers had CDC with hazardous material written on them, which are now being examined by the Coast Guard. Now, if you don't know what CDC stands for, it stands for Center Disease Control. Now, y'all remember when I said there's always signs and things are always deeper than what they may seem. So this same bridge was named after Francis Scott Key, the author of the national anthem. Now, he wrote this poem during the war in 1812, the British versus the United States War. And in 1814, after the war was over, they made his poem the national anthem. Now, guess what happened in 1811? Right before this war, September 1811, a total solar eclipse passed through the United States and Canada. December 1811, there was an earthquake. Why is that relevant? Well, because this year's eclipse is passing through that same area, the New Madrid fault line. Now, I know y'all wondering what a fault line is. So pretty much there's these plates called tectonic plates underground all over the world. A fault line is a crack in Earth's surface where the tectonic plates meet. When the plates grind together, the pressure builds up, and when the pressure is too great, the plates break loose, which causes the earthquake, which usually occurs along fault lines. Now, there's different fault lines, but the New Madrid fault line runs through the states of Tennessee, Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Missouri, Kentucky, and Mississippi. Same states this year's total solar eclipse will pass through. Now, every time there's a total solar eclipse, it messes with the tectonic plates on the ground and the areas that it passes through. For example, July 20 of 1963, a total solar eclipse passed through Canada and Alaska. In March 1964, a major earthquake hit Anchorage, Alaska, killing 125 people. July 2010, a total solar eclipse passed through Japan, which sits on the Pacific Ocean. March 2011, there was an earthquake off the coast of Japan. September 1811, total solar eclipse. December 1811, earthquake. Now, I'm not saying there's about to be an earthquake. I'm just giving y'all some historical facts. And I'm definitely not saying the National Geographic posted an article that was last updated March 7, 2024, comparing a semi-truck hitting a bridge to a solar eclipse passing a fault line, which read, just like a semi-truck hitting the bridge, multiple cars may still pass over the bridge until it finally gives out. Just like many solar eclipses pass fault lines until it gives out. Also, I seen a comment about me being a clone. Stop wishing that on me. I'm still in Russell County Jail in Phoenix City, Alabama. Download the NCIC app and look up Colin Henry and set up a video call if you don't believe me. Also, keep the donations coming. I'm still paying my new lawyer, so even $1 helps. My Cash App and my website are still in my bio. $1 or a share helps. Appreciate you.
Man, free Colin Bellamy, yo. But that's crazy though about the bridges. There was another bridge that, not a bridge, but another boat that recently lost power, right? And that was in, I think, like New York or New Jersey or something like that. So this is happening in more than just one spot.
How did we not notice this in the movie Lion King?
For me, it is a deep, personal loss. So it is with a heavy heart that I assume the throne.
For me, it is a deep, personal tragedy.
Yo, so with a lot of stuff going on about this eclipse and all this strange stuff going on in the world right now, are y'all prepared for what's about to happen today? I'm about to go out there later on and I'm going to try to catch some of this eclipse, right? I am in Illinois, but I'm not in the total path, so I think I might be a little bit safe. But yeah, these are some of the most creepy and strange TikToks that are out there. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bell on, and until next time, YouTube, peace.